Worst NHL GMs Jarmo Kekalainen. Jarmo Kekalainen became the GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets on February 13, 2013, and has remained the team's GM ever since. During his tenure as GM, the Blue Jackets had some high points, but now it seems like they're headed towards a rebuild again, despite having signed Johnny Gaudreau and Patrik Laine. Here are the worst moves made by Jarmo Kekalainen as GM of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Here are his worst trades: trading Steve Mason to the Philadelphia Flyers for Michael Laine and a third-round pick in 2015. Trading Jonathan Marchessault and Dalton Smith to the Tampa Bay Lightning for Dana Tyrell and Matt Taormina. Trading Marian Gaborik to the LA Kings for Matt Fratton, a second-round pick in 2014, and a conditional third-round pick. Acquiring Matt Duchene and Julius Bergen from the Ottawa Senators for Vitaly Abramov, Jonathan Davidson, and a first-round pick in 2019. Acquiring Ryan Dzingel from the Ottawa Senators for Anthony Duclair, a second-round pick in 2020, and a second-round pick in 2021. Acquiring Jacob Voracek from the Philadelphia Flyers for Cam Atkinson, trading Oliver Borgstrand to the Seattle Kraken for a third-round pick in 2023 and a fourth-round pick in 2023. Patrik Laine has gotten hurt a lot since being acquired in the trade for Pierre-Luc Dubois, which tilts the trade in favor of Winnipeg because at least Dubois has been in the lineup. Here are his draft mistakes from 2013 to 2018. In the 2013 draft, he drafted Alexander Wennberg over Ryan Pulock, Marco Dano over Ryan Hartman, Dylan Hetherington over Tyler Bertuzzi, Nick Moultrie over Ryan Graves, Marcus Soderberg over Dominic Kubalik, and Peter Quenneville over Mackenzie Weegar. In the 2014 draft, he drafted Sonny Milano over David Pastrnak, Ryan Collins over Brandon Montour, Elvis Merzlikins over Ilya Sorokin, Blake Siebenthaler over Braden Point, Julian Pelletier over Devon Taves, Tyler Bird over Oscar Lindblom, and Olivier LeBlanc over Jacob Middleton. In the 2015 draft, he drafted Gabriel Carlsson over Sebastian Aho, Paul Bittner over Eric Cernak, Kevin Stenlund over Oliver Shillington, Keegan Kolazar over Nikolai Wall, and Sam Rope over Kirill Kaprizov. In the 2016 draft, he drafted Pierre-Luc Dubois over Matthew Tkachuk, Andrew Peeke over Alex DeBrincat, Vitaly Abramov over Adam Fox, and Peter Thorpe over Jesper Bratt. In the 2017 draft, he drafted Emil Benstrom over Drake Batherson and Cale Howarth over Alexander Chmelevski. In the 2018 draft, he drafted Liam Foudy over Keandre Miller and Marcus Carlson over Connor Dewar. Kekalainen's worst signings were Nick Foligno to a 6-year deal worth $5.5 million per season, Nathan Horton to a 7-year deal worth $5.3 million per season, and Alexander Wennberg to a 6-year deal worth $4.9 million per season. Some other worst signings were Eric Goodbranson to a 4-year deal worth $4 million per season, and Jared Bull to a 3-year deal worth $1.7 million per season. Letting William Karlsson go in the expansion draft was a huge mistake. Karlsson, along with another ex-Columbus Blue Jackets player, Jonathan Marchessault, never got used properly in Columbus, but excelled right away in Vegas. In 2018-19, the Blue Jackets chose to go all out and keep both Sergei Bobrovsky and Artemi Panarin for the season, who were set to be free agents in 2019. They also decided to acquire Matt Duchene at the deadline to go all in for the playoffs, but ultimately lost in the first round. All three players, Panarin, Bobrovsky, and Duchene, left in free agency. The after effects of the 2019 offseason are still being felt today. Columbus should not have signed Johnny Gaudreau because he didn't fit their system that well. Perhaps it was an adjustment period, but thus far, Gaudreau has not performed up to standard. The biggest problem for the Columbus Blue Jackets right now is that they don't have any direction. They made big splashes in free agency, but they have a roster full of washed-up veterans who aren't tradable. Now you add on the fact that you have locked up Patrik Laine, who has become injury-prone, and a small Johnny Gaudreau. That is not a recipe for success. Jarmo Kekalainen is one of the GMs on the hot seat, and if he does get fired, the GM after him is going to have to do a lot of cleanup work.